When sinking funds are done right, it means that when a bill comes up, you already have the money waiting for it. No more scares. A simple example would be your yearly boiler service. Let's say that's 90 quid. So you divide that by 12 to spread it equally over the year, which is £7.50. You would set up a sinking fund called boiler service and then set £7.50 to go into it monthly. Then when you get a message saying your boiler is due its service, you no longer have to panic about finding the money to cover it. It's already sitting there ready to go. There are so many things you can use sinking funds for. Car insurance, a simple one that you can do to save money. Put money aside for your car insurance each month and then pay it in a lump sum the next time it is due. Some car insurance companies offer a reduction for paying in one go. Amazon Prime. If you're paying $7.99 per month for Amazon Prime, then you could save yourself money by paying yearly. It's £79 per year, and paying monthly you are paying over £95 for the same thing. Maybe it's worth paying yearly and setting up a sinking fund for that £79. Council tax. This is a big one. If you're starting your budget and sinking fund journey, this could be a bit of a jump to get in now. However, it would get it all out of the way in April if you could manage it. MOT. A cheap one, potentially, but you can put a couple of pounds away each month to cover it. If you think your car might need some work, then stash a little extra to cover that bill. Boiler service. One for the homeowners and an important one too. Train or bus pass. If you commute via train or bus, it normally works out cheaper to buy a pass. Start saving for the next one now and you could save yourself some money. Car tax. You can pay it monthly or you can pay it all in one go when you set up a sinking fund. Once again, it works out cheaper if you go for the annual lump sum option. Insurances. From home insurance or contents insurance or any insurance that you have for specific items in your home, chances are that you have the option to pay for them annually. Set up a sinking fund for this now and you might be able to pay less on renewal day. Now we've covered some of the bills, let's look at annual costs that we often wait until they're close before even thinking about the cost of them. You know what I'm going to say first in this list, and that's Christmas. It can be so expensive and so many get into financially sticky situations because of it. We know exactly when it's coming, but often wait until a couple of months before to think about budgeting for it. Work out how much Christmas costs you, divide it by 12 and stick that amount in a sinking fund each month. It can make Christmas much more special when you don't have the money stress behind it. Birthdays. This is particularly relevant for kids who tend to have some sort of celebration every year. If you have a significant birthday coming up, then it might be worth creating a fund for that. This can cover presents, parties, decorations, meals out, etc. Holidays. If you like to get away once or twice a year, then planning is your friend. Separating out your holiday savings from your emergency fund is good too. Just don't forget to budget for the spending money and the new clothes you'll want as well. Other religious events. The above are the main events that are celebrated in our household, but if you have other costly events, then create a new sinking fund category for these and get saving. Redecoration. All of us like to give our home a little spruce up from time to time. Therefore, keeping a redecoration fund going means that you have the money there whenever the urge to grab a paintbrush strikes. Repairs and replacements. Things break around the home all the time, particularly when you've got kids. Am I right? You might want to create sinking funds for replacing old appliances, but also things that get damaged due to general wear and tear. This can include plates, light bulbs, glasses, etc. For those of us with kids, there can be some additional expenses to consider. Clothes. Kids grow out of clothes all the time, but you aren't necessarily replacing them every month. However, if you set up a regular payment for this to go into a sinking fund, you can spread out the cost. It won't make your eyes water the next time you open their wardrobe and realise that you have to replace the whole lot. School expenses. School is really expensive, even when it is free. There are uniforms, non-uniform days, fundraising events, school trips, bake sales, and days when they need some obscure yogurt pot for a school project. It all adds up. Other kids' birthday parties. If your kids are anything like mine, they seem to have a party invite or two every month. A few quid set aside for this each month will save you scraping the bottom of your bank account to buy another arts and crafts kit for a kid you've never met. School dinners. If you want your child to have school lunches, then you are likely budgeting for this already. But it can help to spread the cost over the holidays too, just to take a bit of pressure off during term time. Education. Thinking further ahead for your kids, are you saving for university? This is probably one of the biggest sinking funds for most parents to think about, and it makes sense to start thinking about it now. A quick section for the pet owners out there. Food. Buying your pet's food in bulk could work out cheaper. So setting up a short-term sinking fund for the month will mean that you have the money available to buy a larger order rather than paying the more expensive, smaller quantities. Treatments. Some treatments won't be covered under your insurance, so having a spare pot of cash there to cover these will mean that you are able to keep your pet in good shape. Grooming. One particularly for the dog owners, but other pets might need the odd trim and tidy up too. Setting aside a few pounds a month would mean that you can keep your pooch looking smart. Kennels and catteries, etc. Now, you could tie this one into your holiday fund, but if there are other times that you go away, work for example, then you might want a separate fund to cover the costs of keeping your furry friends looked after whilst you are away. That's looking after the pets covered, but what about us? Here are a list of things that we can help keep us and our families happy and healthy. Prescriptions. Unfortunately, the need for some form of medication in our lives is pretty much a guarantee. You might even be someone who has regular prescriptions that you need to pay for. Having the money aside for this can take the pressure off making that appointment. Dentists. We all need a checkup at least once a year, and likely some other form of treatment too. Even if you are lucky enough to find an NHS dentist, there will still be some costs involved. Therapy. With waiting lists for mental health support being as they are, only the most needing of cases being treated, some of us are seeking private therapy treatment. You might budget this with your expenses if you go regularly, but if it's just once every now and again, a sinking fund might be worthwhile. Glasses. Getting your eyes checked can be costly if you are liable to pay for the test, the frames, and the lenses. If you're like me, you'll probably want a second pair too, in case the kids get their hands on them or you leave them on the car seat and sit on them. Basically, create a sinking fund to cover them. Hearing appointments, not something that everybody needs to think about, particularly if you are young. But if you are considering private treatment for hearing loss, then this can be an expensive one too. Plus, hearing aids need to be replaced every few years. Alternative treatments. This can be anything else that you use to help manage your health. From massages to acupuncture, if it's something that you pay for infrequently, then it's a good idea to start saving for it now. Gym memberships. This is another great example of something that can be paid for annually and that will save you money. If your gym membership is non-negotiable for you, then go set up that sinking fund. Skincare. As a woman firmly in my 30s, I have noticed the cost of my skincare regime increasing faster than my age. I do tend to buy in bulk and keep the cost down and save on delivery. A few quid aside every month means that I don't need to borrow it from other areas of my budget. Hairdressers. Again, another one that happens every couple of months or less, if you or me. To make sure that you don't have to miss out and reschedule, get that fund set up. Relaxation. We are firmly in the world of luxuries now. That is fine. A budget is not about restricting, but more about enabling, and a sinking fund for that spa day is a perfect example of this. Fun. Not a sinking fund as such, but every budget should have some money for fun. It is a good idea to set this up for every member of the family so that they can have some guilt-free spends. If you need any help with setting up your budget to work for you, then check out some of my other videos. I have lots of videos about budgeting and the ways you can fix some of the issues with your budget. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like to help YouTube share it with more people. Subscribe for more financial education videos, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!